We're going to have a brand new, fresh series. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the new maps. We got a hard point. Guess what? On Scar. We got a Search and Destroy on Raid. Great. Fantastic. Overload. Guess where? On Scar. Then we have a hard point back on Blackheart. Blackheart out of the rotation for a little bit because after Season 1 came out, there was a glitch. So I'm glad to see Blackheart back in it. I know the subs are enjoying it as well. Game 5. Familiar place. We have a timeshare here. Apparently, it's 3 times a week. It's going to be Scar.
Beautiful. That's what I like to see, baby.
Yeah, I got some owned prime real estate on Scar. I own Blue. You know, Blue is my house. That's where I live. I live up top. I just look over top mid. Nice views from there. Green is, I don't like having neighbors. I don't like having to share the basement. I don't have access to it. So it's nice to have 2 floors.
There you go. It's also nice because it's got a laundry hookup too, so that's a dub.
Yeah, I mean, the hotel's right across the street. You can just, a
staycation.
Yeah, a staycation, man. You got a nice little field with a burning plane next to it. It's ideal.
Hell yeah. But no, what I really like about this map pool, though, is just because obviously you got the tried and true classic Raid. You can never go wrong with Raid. And it's really kind of interesting, too, because people with Raid in particular, they either rush it or they go really slow. And it's definitely poolside. I can't remember if it's A or B specifically, but that poolside sometimes can get absolutely crazy with gunfights going from basketball to the top pool. Like, it's really kind of interesting to see. So, and obviously, Scar, Overload is going to be pretty chaotic as well. So, but yeah, we're going to see what Minnesota and Boston have to play here. I'm hoping a little bit, personally for me, call me faded, but I would love to see a Game 5. I know at least Central Standard Time, it is almost 9:40. It is 9:42, but I would love to see a Game 5. I always love, my favorite part about Call of Duty is, especially for casting, is if I can get a Game 5 round 11, because then it's like, it doesn't matter what happened in the previous 10 rounds. It doesn't even matter what happened in the previous 4 maps. It is all up to there. And personally for me, I've had a few rosters recently under my org where we have had Game 5 round 11s go poorly, especially on Raid as of recently on XP League stuff. So it's been really interesting to see just Game 5 round 11. It's amazing. So I'd like to see that today. I'd like to see a shootout. I don't want to see a blowout. I want to see a shootout.
Yeah, no, Game 5 round 11. I mean, I chalked it down the other night too, as I like to watch people be stressed out. And
yes.
I like to see who buckles under pressure, who plays well. And I think Search and Destroy is overall a great game mode. Honestly, I think this format, this type of pressure that you have going into a league format where people can see your stats later, you know what I mean? It's not necessarily a reset. There is a topic of conversation. If you drop a donut, that donut's going to come back to bite you. So, I like to see people stressed out. I, too, won a Game 5 round 11. I want it to go the distance. But honestly, I'm just excited to watch more COD, man. Even though it is going to be constant watching Scar, I'm just excited.
Yes, no, and obviously too, as the seasons go on and everything, as we progress through the COD cycle and everything, we're going to probably see a couple more maps here and there. I still think it would be absolutely hysterical to see a Nuketown Search and Destroy, or Nuketown in general, just because it is Black Ops. I think Nuketown as a competitive map would be hilarious, or even better would be, even though it's not traditionally Black Ops but Shipment, I think that would just be, for the kicks and giggles, it would be just absolutely hilarious. But fun facts, though, if you guys want to know something, we got a little message from production. All of the Boston team are from the Great White North, the land of maple syrup and hockey. Let's go, boys. So it's kind of a fun fact. All the Boston fellas are from Canada. So that's pretty nice.
Yeah, they must be the outcast because none of the Canadian teams wanted them there. So, no, I'm just kidding. No, Boston. Yeah, that's an interesting thing. I mean, players all have something to connect with, whether it's from you're all the same place or not. But yeah, that'll be pretty interesting to see. Hopefully, we don't have any server issues and stuff like that. I think what I heard is going to be pinging somewhere pretty central. So I'm super excited to see some good ping and some good gameplay. But yeah, man, I'm ready for this game to start up.
Oh, I'm excited. It's always a good day when you get a double header for COD. It's always a lot of fun. And also too, like, be sure, like I said before last game, whether you're here for the Boston Brigade or the Minnesota Mist, be sure to show some love in chat. These are all obviously organizations, rosters. They're all putting their heart and soul out there for the most part. So be sure to support them. Show your love, who you're supporting. I'm pretty sure they'll enjoy it in the chat. So especially if you got the owners of some of these Zorgs in here too, show them a little bit of love and get them some free gas. But yeah, we're gonna be loading in here shortly into Scar. But pre-game predictions. What do you think personally, Refresh? How do you think it's gonna go?
Honestly, I have no idea. I'm not going to lie to you. I haven't seen these teams play each other yet. I think a lot of the series is going to come down to the Search and Destroy. I feel like teams that stay composed in the Search and Destroy and able to win those out. I mean, the tale is old as time, right? Search and Destroy wins tournaments. So I'm curious to see how both of these teams play in the Search and who comes out hot in the Scar, like map number 1. We saw an absolute steamroll on map number 1 last series, and if that happens again, then that time is telling. I mean, yeah, it's just you got to keep your momentum. You got to play it map by map. Make sure your comms are good, and make sure like everyone's set up and doing their job.
No, 100%. And a lot of the times too, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. You know what I mean? So like even if let's just say, for example, if Boston comes out swinging and Minnesota's now on the defensive side and they're down 0-1 and you go into that search and destroy, you just keep that composure, keep the mental state going, and just, get yourself hyped, get some really good kills. Like, you can keep yourself in the ball game. So, I mean, it's really just a matter of, staying composed and just working the system, you know what I mean? So that's the way I look at it, at least. So we're going to see who comes out swinging, but I just hope that it's not another blowout. So that's what I would personally prefer to see.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to be. I got a good feeling about this match, about the lineup we have going. I think we have with Scar being in the rotation so many times, I think we have a lot of decent balance on the different maps. We got, I mean, Raid is a very, like, it could be close quarters, but the B-side bomb's super open. So honestly, I think with the maps that we have going on here, now that I'm saying that, I think this is going to be super AR heavy, and a lot of this is going to be dependent on the ARs with all of the open lanes that we have with Scar, Raid. But then I think the outlier here is going to be Blackheart. So Blackheart, if these teams can get to that game 4, that is where their subs are going to shine. And I think there's a really good opportunity on that map for that to happen. So I think these first 3 maps, it's going to be crucial on who communicates the best.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because like Scar, like we talked about before, AR heavy map, Raid, definitely some AR presence there too. Excuse me. So going to that map 4, it's going to be SMG City. So we're going to see who comes out swinging. Like I said, it was kind of weird seeing the ARs for Hardpoint being able to, they just are playing objectively, and they were doing a dang good job of it too. So it really just, like I said, it's all about starting off strong, and whoever's going to, at least typically for the most part, whoever usually starts off strong is usually the one that finishes strong too. So but just real quick, getting a little update from production. Looks like one of the players' games crashed, and now he's waiting for an update and some shatters. So good old
PC
Call
life.
of Duty, yeah, Call of Duty, PC life, man. It's a beautiful thing. That's what you like to see. So
remember when we were playing series on a 360 and the game just worked every single time?
Oh, the beautiful days, man. Beautiful days.
Hey, it was 30 frames, but those 30 frames felt real nice.
They were really nice, 100%. I mean, we've honestly kind of gotten a little bit spoiled nowadays with PCs, like we can jack up our FPS and everything pretty good too. Oh, I don't know if you guys can hear my son in the background, but somebody decided to wake up instead of going to bed. So, but I'm going to go ahead and get him squared away here. But definitely, I'm going to kick it to Refresh for just a moment while I get my hooligan to bed. But I'm excited personally. I'm gonna make a crazy bold prediction, not knowing anything about these two teams. Don't get me wrong, but I have a feeling that it's gonna be a game 5 shootout. I think it's gonna be 3-2, but I think it's gonna favor Boston. So we're gonna see if it is proven to me or not. But I'm gonna personally be right back. But if you want to kick it for a sec, Refresh, go for it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think those were really good takes there from Yoop as well. Yeah, I'm super excited for this series. I hope you guys have been enjoying the stream so far. I guess I'll take this moment and shout out everyone in chat showing up and showing love. The chat's been super active. I can see it. Yeah, you guys are super sick. So I definitely enjoy casting these matches. I'm excited to do these a lot more often. I hope you guys enjoy having me here, and I hope we can continue to talk. But we're going to go ahead and load in to this first map. Scar. Hardpoint on Scar. As we get loaded in this first map, I mean, I definitely want to see a lot of P1 control. Map count is 0-0. This is game number 1. Everyone's swapping teams, doing their job. Make sure I got teams situated. Boston logo. Dang, all the logos hanging out. There we go. But we're back into it. This map number 1. We got Steez, Trigger, Doc, and I don't know who that is, but we got Zom, Goat, Element, and Stylish. Right now, Minnesota Mist taking an early lead right now. Boston trying to get some dominance on the map. They're heading over towards this P2. They're going to be chilling on top of hotel right there. Minnesota Mist doing their best to get as much time off of that P1 as they possibly can. But now it's P2 time. A Goat going to be chilling in the point, hiding behind the steel heady or the steel barrier. Going to get a nice kill there. Really good.
Oh, that was a good kill.
Yeah, that was a great kill.
Guess who's back? Oh, there we go. Backstreet's back. But no, just definitely some of these names are going to be a little bit hard. I guess just in general, I mean, we got Chinese letters. I'm going to stay away from that name too, so I'll let you take that one, Refresh.
Right, yeah, I have no idea.
But as it stands right now, Minnesota looking pretty strong here. The Boston Brigade really trying to get into this P2 here, but still very much in the hands of Minnesota. Zom trying to fly in, kick off the wall a little bit, but I don't want to say that name, dude. It's just gonna be really bad. It's Addy's. Okay, so he's gonna be number 68 on the board is gonna be known as Addy's. So we're gonna, I guess that's what production is telling us. So thank you, W Production. But so yeah, Addy is still a 7-3, 1 streak to his name. Chinese letters, I guess, 4 and 6 starting off, but still though, overall this is looking pretty good, even though the names are a little bit scuffed.
Yeah, so the other player is going to be Wicked. So Wicked and Addies.
Okay, there we go. I read that. Perfect. I love it. Love you guys for having such great names for us casters to be able to cast with.
Somebody say Minnesota Skull? I know you're a fan of in chat.
Amen to that. But no, right now, look at that. The old 3-piece for Stylish. But yeah, I mean, like Boston, they're only down by 10 points, so it's nothing to really hit the panic button yet, though. But Minnesota Mist gonna be coming in swinging. Wicked only 5 to start with the 14 seconds on hill, but you have Doc coming in swinging on a 2 streak, looking for a couple members on Boston, and still Minnesota really just being dominant, playing together, trading together, and it's just been looking very cohesive for the side of Minnesota as the number looks like it was going to be Wicked, I think, got a 2-piece there, or no, yeah, it was Wicked got a 2-piece, so yeah, Minnesota's looking good.
Yeah, Steve's doing a really good job right now. 13 and 10, just fall to Elmet. I mean, this is going to be a little bit of a back and forth here on the rest of this time. You do have Stylish playing in the back. And as we rotate on over to a P5 over on this green side, you're going to see a setup here from Boston. Boston trying to do the best that they can to get set up and try to get a few of these kills. But remember, the spawns back here are really sticky. Steve's picking up a nice 3-piece. Going to be rotating around the back of the map. Let's see how these players play against each other. That's actually going to be Doc. So good on the Codcaster.
W-Codcaster. You got to love the scoreboard.
Yeah, W-Codcaster. But this time going over to Boston, this is going to be a big time for Boston to kind of get back into this game. And with the beginning of the next rotation of kills, you're going to be kind of looking to reset here. Elmet going to be looking to get a kill. I think that was a little bit of an overshell there. You kind of want to prioritize the time here. Make sure you milk it. These Boston players are jumping up and over this barrier, just trying to get as many kills as they can. Nam going to be rotating around the back over towards blue, looking to find a player to pick up on the P1. Is going to find one. Spots another player under that green window. Really nice 2-piece, a couple of shifty shots, but it ends up working out in their favor. They're going to take control of this blue side as they get ready for this P1.
Yeah, I know, and going into the new set of rotations here, you do have multiple members of Boston. They're going to be setting up. You actually had number 3, Elmet, who was posted up for just a second, but just as quickly as the points started, all of a sudden, Minnesota Mist were able to go ahead and capitalize on the kills necessary. You know, locking it in. Doc's got the trophy system down, pushing up a little bit, gets taken down, but still, Minnesota Mist is still looking pretty good as of right now. You do have Boston Brigade that it is falling handedly here. Still time going by the wayside. Zom from the side of Boston finds one, gets taken down, but still, you're still in this game, man. If you are the side of Boston, you got to get one good hold, get some scrap time here. You know, if you can walk away with 5-10 seconds, get rotated onto P2, lock it down underneath that balcony, and you got a puncher's chance to be able to force a lead change. So if you're Boston, you're not out of this yet, man.
Yeah, Boston's definitely not out. Minnesota looking to extend that lead here with a P2 rotation. Some pretty scrappy gunfights going down in the feed. Who's this number 7? Steez. Steez is going to be able to get in point. Doc and Steez. You got 3 bodies in the point now for Minnesota. Minnesota looking to extend that lead just a little bit. Doc going to be rotating all the way around the back, trying to get a little bit of a pinch on these players from middle. Going to get stunned coming out. Even with the stun, able to pick up one, not able to pick up the other. And just like that, Ago going to be the one left standing in the point to try to tie up this game. Yeah, really great reaction there on that player.
2 HP. The man is Rambo right now. You guys noticed that, but still a goat going hard in the paint and finally gets taken down. I don't think that they had enough for a trophy, or trophy for a Hellstorm, but the damage is done though. I mean, 133 to 144 and counting going into this P3. It's gonna be a huge fight though for Doc. It's gonna be able to find the kill. Elmet's gonna get taken down, and so now it's all up to the side of Minnesota Mist and Doc to be able to lock it down and wait for his homies to come on by, and it looks like he's gonna be able to do just that. So Minnesota looking to try to extend this hill. This is gonna be a big game changer as 3 members of Boston are gonna be falling. And so this might be where this map 1 is decided as long as Doc stays alive.
Yeah, Doc doing a great job on this Pier 3 right now. Hide behind the rock, and as I say that, they get picked up by a nade. But look at this transition. Great on this player to recognize that, like when your player in point drops, they're able to be in a position to get back on it to continue that time ticking over. And with 15 seconds left on that P3, a goat going to be rotating over to P4. Oh no, I'm not. That player from
number
Minnesota
1,
just doesn't check.
The big one, Addies from the side of Minnesota, number 68. You know, he was looking for something, trying to get in that back hill, and Boston slowly, you know, a little bit of a slow start to this map 1, but now as we're almost 2 rotations deep, looking closer and closer to a 3rd set here, Boston's been warming up. I mean, look at that beautiful double piece from Stylish. currently on a 3 streak, a GOAT on a 3 streak, make that a 4, whipping out the pistol like he's John Wick, and just Minnesota now kind of being put on their heels, trying to look at something to do to try to combat the aggression now with the gunnies from Boston warming up.
Yeah, Boston doing a really good job there, able to get some time, able to stay strong in the point. I mean, Minnesota, you did have a little bit of time you can give up. The lead still hasn't swapped over. And as I say that, they're starting to get into the point as well. They double stack it. They're able to get a few kills and extend this lead back up to almost 30. So, I mean, really good back and forth on these points. However, it was Boston that did cut down on that time. But now, as Minnesota ticks over 200, you got to be stressing a little bit. You can't let them get too much time. No more of the scrap time can go over in their favor.
Yeah, and the big thing too, I need you guys, if you're looking at the mini-map too, I was just about to say, if you're Boston, you need to secure that sticky spawn, right? Like you can see now with Minnesota, Brigade, Boston gets taken down in that back hill, and you could just see nothing but red arrows spawning in that corner. So unfortunately, Boston just getting forced out. It's really not working in their favor, and they haven't really been able to capitalize. They were setting up for a good potential, 40 to 50, but Stylish getting a couple of kills, make that a triple with the 5 streak, but then finally gets cleaned up. But, Boston not really able to capitalize on a beautiful position. So that's where your slayers are important. Getting the kills are important, but sometimes positioning is just so much better. And that was almost a textbook case of that. But still, pretty close match, though, 193 to 215 as we head into this third set.
Yeah, again, another back and forth hard point. Minnesota was able to get that first half of the point, and it felt like Boston was able to kind of break into that point and keep this game close. And as I say that lead is going down and down. Just a 10-second lead. Ooh, for that player just to spin around, just kind of gets overwhelmed in P1. Bullets coming from everywhere, and as I say that, Boston's starting to take back over on this point. Miss trying to do anything they can to keep them off it. Both teams cannot win on this point, so we'll for sure see a P2. And I think this P2 rotation might be the decider.
Yeah, and if there's anybody, number 2, Zom from Boston Brigade, he needs to stay alive and not overextend. Oh my God, he's going to mess it up. If he dies here and nobody from Boston rotates to P2, that is going to be game over. As you look at the bottom left of your screen, it is a mad dash to this P2. You have 2 red arrows, 3 blue. If Boston wants a chance to win this, they gotta win their gunfights and they gotta hold. But right now, Zom being able to stay alive for just a moment, finds one, and it looks like it's gonna be in the hands of Minnesota. The overextension from Zom, instead of reading and having that map awareness, might potentially lose Boston this map.
Yeah, both teams can technically still win off of this point here, but it's going to be Minnesota Miss that have so much pressure, and they're going to have the rotation on over towards P3 the way they've taken the middle of the map. And as I say that, some really good kills coming in from Boston. Boston doing a really good job making sure that this map doesn't end here. Boston's going to be approaching over from this blue side. Boston can no longer win on this rotation. And now both teams can't, so we're going to see a P3. I thought for sure it would have ended there. Now I'm picking up a big kill on the rotation over to P3, looking to get into top green. This is going to be big moment right here for Nam.
Oh, huge Nam. So you're trying to make up for the overextension, but you still have 3 top, 4 seconds remaining. You have more members of Boston on hill, 248 to 242.
Who was that?
Trying to get inside of the hill. Zom on the flank. It is an absolute bloodbath around this hill. Minnesota missed. 2 more seconds is all they need. And Boston Brigade are going to fall 248 to 250. Brutal loss there for the side of Boston in that map 1. I mean, that was a shootout. That's what we're looking for, baby. That's what we're looking for, is that shootout. And man, what a map 1.
I'm mind blown. Who was that? Who was in the point at the end there? Was that a GOAT?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think it was a GOAT.
Yeah, there was a player in the point, and they could have just stayed there and take the 2 seconds of time. There was no nades or anything. Minnesota was coming up off of spawn, and they just, I'm watching it back right now. They just hopped out. He just hopped out.
I think so, yeah. No, like I said, there's two critical errors there in my personal opinion. Now, I'm not a coach by any means, but just knowing what I know, like two critical errors from Boston really costed them that point, that map one. And like I said, Zom going in that P2, instead of staying alive, hanging out in the top balcony, just, waiting for his teammates to get to him, they're spawning over by P3, and instead he pushes up towards mid for no real reason and gets killed almost. I think he did get killed. And so it was just a mad dash. You could see at the bottom of the screen, both of those teams converging on P2. If you had just stayed alive and just, instead of pushing, get on that point and just play defensively, you could have won that game there, So, and then obviously a goat at the end, unfortunately, hopping off hill.
Yeah, there was just a miscommunication there. There was two players standing right there. I think they said they needed to watch the cut, and both of them hopped off of it. But I think it was a goat running the sub. Should have just laid down and at least get the contest. And then, oh my goodness, mind blown. I was getting ready to say Boston won map number one. That was insane. That I feel like Boston got robbed. They outslayed too, technically.
Yeah, they did.
Technical outslay, but Minnesota just, by the skin of their teeth, just getting both of those players capitalizing on that mistake, and that's sometimes all it takes.
Yeah. It's a dirty W, but it's still a W. It's still a W for the side of Minnesota. But here's the thing, though, and this is really the big thing, is this is where the mental side comes in. So if you're Boston, you're either going to do one of two things. You're either going to focus on that map you should have won, or you're going to just move on to the next map, business as usual, and come back with just as much intensity. So, I mean, if you're Boston right now, you're kind of against the wall a little bit, but, I mean, you only lost by 2. Just minor adjustments at any point in time could have gotten you those extra 2 points. So that's why, for me, this is going to be the deciding map, in my personal opinion, is going to be this raid, search, and destroy, because we're either going to see Boston nut up or shut up and come back swinging with a vengeance, or Minnesota is going to be able to capitalize on the weakened, mental of the side of Boston, and we're going to see a pretty good raid. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm just, I watched that over about 2 or 3 times, just analyzing that play over, and it had to have been a miscommunication. There is no way that was an intentional play that was made. It's very unfortunate.
And if it was, then that is a horrible miscalculation.
Yeah, don't do that ever again. in the nicest way, don't do it ever again.
Respectfully.
Yeah, please. All right, but we're gonna go ahead on over to map number 2. It looks like they're going to be staying on the same side. Minnesota gonna be those red arrows.
Somebody's swimming.
Boston is gonna be the blue. Bomb's already going down on B.
Nobody knows that Addies is there?
I guess not.
Holy crap, Addies just went for a swim and almost got completely behind enemy line scot-free there for a second. So, holy mackerel, Boston almost dropping the ball there, but still, though, 3v2 situation. Minnesota missed down 2. Doc hanging out in the back spawn, just looking for some kind of, angle there. But just, unfortunately, you're kind of stuck in a rock and a hard place there and not really able to get anything going.
Yeah, no, that was good first round. Eddie's just pushing up underneath, going for a swim. Not able to get the timing, though. Bomb did go down really, really fast. But yeah, Boston taking the round 1 of the search and destroy, not letting that hard point affect them too much, it seems like, in that search. We're going to go ahead and pop open the mini map and see what it looks like. As we're going to spot Eddie's going around the map, we're going to hop on board with Steez, what feels like it's the first time in the series, thanks to Codcaster. Up and hit that number 7, like, no business on the keyboard. So we're going to show them some love. Eddie's is going to be getting the bomb down at B. Steez is going to be rotating around towards garage.
Yeah, it looks like he's just looking for an angle, waiting for somebody to go through the staircase. And you can see number 1, a goat, might potentially be going for it, but no, it looks like they're going to be going through middle steps. A goat finds one, though. Gonna be getting damaged up here. This could be a huge kill. Oh, let's go. Bobbing and weaving, bopping off the wall there. Last man standing is going to be Wicked, and he gets taken down too. So Boston Brigade with doubling up the rounds here to start off after a really tough loss on that map 1, looking to try to make this series a competitive one, that's for sure.
Yeah, Boston going up 2-0 in the search, trying to tie up the series 1-1 going into the overload on dead. Yeah, everything, I mean, they're looking pretty good right now. Winning an offense and a defense is big. That's always super important. Being able to take both types of rounds, I think, is really telling, because there's a lot of times where we see just defensive wins or just offensive wins depending on the map. So it's
going 100%.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see. I mean, that's what you want, right? Knowing that you can win an offense and knowing that you can win a defense right off the bat. And as I say that, a little bit of a switch up with the offensive tactic. No more bomb hitting on B. It looks like we're going to have a mid-A push. Top Art is able to spot top Laundry. A couple of bullets fly across the map. But in that exchange, they do get first blooded. The trade finally comes through. Steve's going to be laying down on those pool steps. And Elmit able to pick up the nice kill to secure the round. And that's
a little bit shaky shots there at the end, but got her done.
Yeah. 3 in a row there. I mean, that's what you want. Start off hot, right? The last game was super close. You technically outslayed. Probably, honestly, should have won the map. But now we're looking at, I mean, a 3-0 on a hot start, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and definitely, too, it really plays into the mental of the other team where, you know, if you have some guys on your roster that are a little bit easily excitable, lack for a better word, you can kind of capitalize it if you're Boston to be able to kind of keep driving that stake deeper and deeper in the side, you know what I mean? But 3-1 as of right now, Stylish on a 2 streak. Now Elmit currently actually 2-0. Well, I'll take that back. Now he's 2-1. But either way, Boston really just showcasing the slaying capacity again. Just the relentless aggression from the side of Boston, really showcasing into the search and destroy, where obviously hardpoint lives don't really matter as much as they do in search, and the slaying capacity of Boston's really showcasing right here, right now. So really good job by Boston.
Yeah, Boston looking super solid on the search and destroy on raid. 4-0, already a mountain to climb here for Minnesota Mist. And yeah, we'll just see how Boston keeps it up with the offensive round. Last time they were able to hit out A side. They weren't able to plant the bomb, however, they were able to get the kills. As we hop on board with Elmit. Elmit is going to have this bomb. Whoa, Super Mario Brothers. No coins are coming out of that brick. But they do have...
You get that on your bigger jobs.
Yeah, dude. I mean, this is Plumber Mario, not Superhero Mario.
Yeah. But no, Elmit, he's pushing up, though. He's looking to get that bomb planted. He's going to get the cheeky read there, be able to use that wall as cover. You do see one player that's going to be number 6, Doc. He's hanging out in the back pool back basketball area to try to push up on the I don't know what the heck that little thing is called, little hut, but 2 members of Boston get taken down. Stylish gonna be down as well, so a goat, 1 man here, he gets taken down too. So Minnesota Mist, a little bit of life coming out of them now as we are now a little bit deeper into this search and destroy, but still Boston with a pretty definitive 3-round lead. So we're going to either see them crumble or they're going to capitalize and try to make this a 6-1.
I mean, yeah, getting around on the map is really good. I mean, it was a 4 sweep too. Looks super solid. Not too many complaints you can have there with that round. You just got to take momentum round by round. You know you can beat them in a round now. You won a defense after bomb was planted, so you weren't necessarily in a favorable position. You guys were able to push out as a team and get the defuse. So now let's see how the rest of this map lays out. It looks like we might have an A hit here. A lot of resources getting tossed over on A. Doc is probably going to be your first one to get shots. Doc is going to have to hide here for a minute.
He almost got clipped there too. And you have Wicked currently looking down middle. We have a goat in the a goat actually by themselves. You do have a sniper out though. Addy's gonna be whipping out the sniper, and he does find one, I do believe, but bomb's gonna be getting planted. 3v4 retake for the side of Boston. Ooh, Addy's almost getting that sniped. It's like just and finally 3rd time's the charm, able to connect with the sniper. So 3v4 situation again. Addy's beautiful snipes coming from the boy. A goat, though, last man standing, going to get cleaned up. And so now that's going to be 2 in a row for Minnesota. So Boston starting off strong, now starting to kind of falter a little bit. So Minnesota definitely capitalizing on that fact.
Yeah, good kills with the sniper there from Addy's. Addy's doing a really good job looking over that middle, over towards those pool steps. Just doing the best they can to get shots on. You saw another player try to go back up. Addy's, we're going to stick on board with you, obviously, as it is tradition in Call of Duty to stay on board with the sniper until something happens. Especially now that they only get 2 lives with it. It's not like we get to see it every round like we used to with some teams. So it feels even more special.
Yeah. Well, and also too, I'm a firm believer in. I'm a firm hater of the sniper GA, but I totally get where people are coming from. But I do like that it's 2 lives. So if you died twice, if you're not familiar with the GAs, if you died twice while holding a sniper for your team, you can only have it once per like 1 player. But still, Addy's just he was trying to get a wall bang. I don't know if he was gonna go for it, but still 2v3 now, 1v3. Minnesota still up with the bomb down, but not gonna matter. So Boston Brigade giving up 3 rounds in a row now. So like I said, starting off strong, but slowly but surely the wheels are coming off the bus. So Boston needing to regain here, otherwise they're gonna find themselves in a brutal 2-0 deficit, which, especially after that first round or that first map, you know, you lose. Yeah, there's nothing worse than losing a hard point by 2 points and then losing a search by 2 rounds back to back. That's brutal.
Yeah, this is going to be like coughing on straws, dude. I mean, I don't know. You got to be able to clutch up, have some sort of clutch factor, right, in order to win some of these series. You're going to be playing some of these teams so close. Going up 4-0, let's hope they can hold on to it. As I said, Addy's ended up putting the sniper away. I didn't think you could do that, but we've all, I mean, yeah, you can, right? Okay, last alive, left in a 1v3 situation. Bomb is going to go down over on this pool side. Go able to slide out, pick up 1. There's going to be a player in Tiki and a player in bedroom. You know Bomb is down there. You reach out what seems a bit too soon. And just like that, the game is tied 4-4.
All tied up. Deuces.
Yep, 4 straight for both of these teams, taking turns just slapping each other.
And that was a really good maneuver by the side of Minnesota, though. I mean, you had 2 guys that pushed up through mid just quick as hell. You had your 2 ARs playing over by Bomb, and one of the SMGs actually had Bomb, got the kills in the back, and then rotated around again towards that B site. So I mean, it was just a quick hitting them, and it was like a shock and awe kind of situation on the side of Minnesota, completely getting Boston with their pants down, and we're all tied up now. So I mean, it's anybody's game at this point. So we're gonna see if Boston are able to stabilize, but just stat line purposes, just want to point out Steez 4 rounds ago was 0-4.
Yeah, I mean, here comes the streak right now being used mid-round. It's going to be used by Doc, actually not Steez.
Yeah,
So
Doc's on a 6 streak right now. Holy crap.
Yeah, good pickup there, and I think they got the killed the bomb or defused last time, so they were able to get a few extra points with the bomb last round or the round before to get that streak. Oh, good shots over there by Stylish. Stylish being able to kill that player top ring. Going to be looking to push into the kitchen side.
Oh, he doesn't know he's there.
Yeah, going to give that up. Helmet.
Yeah, that's a tough break right there. Yeah, Helmet's going to be the bomb carrier for the side of Boston, but still 2v2. Ooh, huge loss of a gunfight there. Zom now in a 1v2 situation. Helmet's going to get spotted. Somebody with a pogo stick in the back there. Looks like it's Steez. He's going to be able to at least bait Helmet just a little bit, but you know where the play is going to be. You have number 6, Doc, looking for a flank. Going to be able to quickly get that flank as well, and so Minnesota missed with 5 rounds back-to-back, looking for a huge upset on this Boston Brigade squad. You know, definitely if you're Boston, you got to lock in, my dudes, because like I said, you started off so strong in this map too, and now you're a ball hair away from losing 2 close maps. Like, you gotta lock it in.
Yeah, you definitely got to lock it in. I just feel like right now Minnesota is doing a lot better getting the info. And if you saw towards the end of that round, I believe it was Steez, the one that got the defuse because Doc had already used the streak, hasn't died since they used the streak. So
Yeah.
trying to get a second streak there was Steez just in case it does go to around 11, but 5 straight round wins in a row for Minnesota Mist. Going down 0-4 at the beginning of this map. It seemed like half the battle. Boston's got to do something here.
And just somebody got to turn up from the side of Boston. I mean, you have Doc on an 8 streak. Man is not missing. He has come out to play loaded for bear against this Boston squad. And is now a 3v2 retank. Boston is all up to Elmet and Stylish to at least force the round 11. Stylish going to be pushing up these mid stairs with the AR. Going to get really pushing, trying to get some information. Does not know that somebody's up on top until almost at the very last second. Getting really aggressive with that AR. Huge kill from Stylish. Now a 2v2. Now a 1v2. 13 seconds remaining. It looks like this is going to be in the hands of Minnesota. 6 rounds back to back. Doc with a huge kill streak. I think that was 9 or 10 that the man went without losing a life. So Doc turning up for his team when they needed it most, just like when the Avatar returned. And let me tell you what, look at that. Highest streak, 8. So Doc really backpacking his team to victory there as Minnesota Mist go up 2-0. And if you look at the scoreboard real quick too, if you combine it all, Minnesota 7 first bloods compared to Boston's 3. And that first blood is a huge game changer in a round and how you progress through it. So Minnesota being the HBKs of this legacy showdown right now, man. Holy crap.
Yeah, Minnesota is definitely checking all of the dope that Boston's trying to get right now. I mean, Boston on potential comeback, just barely not able to do it. Then they go up 4-0 in the search and destroy, and it's just, it's looking hard for Boston. Boston is, like, they have moments where they're playing really good Call of Duty, right? And I'm assuming those Boston 3 first bloods are going to come in the first half of that map. Because after that, after they went up 4, I think Minnesota probably had a chat. They probably had like a little get together in between rounds, and you said, you know what, we really need to get it together. We don't want to go 1-1 in the series. We want to make sure that we're constantly up. And now they're up 2-0 in the series, and honestly, they've done it in a way where it screams composure, right? And this next game mode is composure. It's composure based.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
You can't, it's so easy to get steamrolled on a game type like Overload, and with like there being stress of time, like you just don't want to fall into this trap that you're slowly setting for yourself.
No, 100%. I mean, like, it really clearly is showing to me right now as we look into the maps here, going into this Overload Scar. But, excuse me, like, really Minnesota's been cool, calm, collected, and just very methodical about the way that they approach everything. And like what you said, that composure that they've been having for these last 2 maps, it's really is what's been the big X factor that Minnesota's had, whereas Boston, they're not having the clutch factor, in these key moments, making small mistakes which are costing them maps. I mean, you can't go up 4 rounds in a row and then proceed to lose 6 decisive rounds back to back. Like, none of those 6 rounds, at least to my memory, even though it's trash, I don't think any of those rounds were like very hectic, very stressful 1v1s or anything like that. It was all very methodically proven, like just all Minnesota having strict gameplay and being able to play together, and Boston just weren't able to compete with that. So it's going to be very interesting to see the Overload, that is for sure, because like what you said, it can get hectic quick, and if you have good composure, you're good to go. But if you don't got that clutch factor, you are boned with a capital B. That's a fact.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, with Boston, you got to know that these have been winnable maps. I would rather, and some people disagree with this, I would rather lose a close map than get absolutely washed on a map. I would rather know that we had a chance to win and that we had a really good fight.
Oh, 100%. I agree with that, like, for sure, because at least, when you get mollywopped, it's like, okay, you kind of know what happened. You just sucked, right? And you're able to kind of move on from it, learn from it. But when you lose by the 2 points, like in the hard point, it doesn't become a learning experience. It becomes a what if kind of thing. And once you start going down that rabbit hole of the what if, that can shock a team's mentality just quick as hell.
Yeah, no, and then mentality is the name of the game, right? Momentum is such a big part of Call of Duty, and it's just, yeah, I just hope we really see it going here.
Oh, here we go, loading it in, baby. Good old Scar.
Make sure I swap these teams real fast.
W production. Wicked already going off though. Look at that.
Bang. Oh, just as I say that, Goat already puts in the first one, so Boston looking pretty strong right now. They had a little bit of a talk. Putting up the first score in Overload is always a big deal. Again, but that's how they started out the last game. They started out on top and playing really well, so we got to see how Nam moves this bomb forward to get Boston even further in the lead. A Goat is going to be right underneath the spawner of that player and just able to take control of this blue side. Not able to get a kill, picks up an AR. The EMP player picks up a pistol, not able to chow that properly. And finally, a Goat able to get picked up. Nam trying to get a little bit of pressure on the map as well. And now it looks like we're going to see this fight over towards this P3 side.
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to be a gunfight through and through, as right now Wicked going to be the bomb carrier or EMP carrier as of right now, but definitely it looks like Minnesota's going to be going for that B objective, so they're really looking for it, but all of Boston Brigade are going to be there lying and waiting, and that's going to be a clean 3 down, and so you have Doc just kind of hanging out behind the enemy lines looking for a flank. So yeah, still Boston able to draw the first blood theoretically with that first detonation, so we're going to see what both of these teams can do, but happening? Still everybody's all over the place. Like, it's just open season right now. What is going on?
Yeah, Stylish had to take some PTO to clock out for that route. That was a crazy route that they just hit. But they did get paid for it, so good job there. Getting the second point on the board. Boston, again, and another map, taking an early lead. Looking to kind of reverse, honestly looking to reverse sweep this Minnesota team. Minnesota, I feel like the first one was kind of given to them. The second one, not so much. I feel like they took that one respectively. But right now, Boston doing a really good job on the map.
Yeah, no, and you can see, too, if you guys are paying attention to the mini-map, you can see number 5, a Goat, currently on a 5 streak. Man is absolutely tearing people up in blue. And then it's going to be another 2 down, but Zom, the EMP carrier, is going to get taken down. Stylish going to try to pick it up himself, but gets taken down, too. But the big thing is that Boston is starting to finally play together more. Like, you can see on the mini-map how for those first 2 caps that they had, they were all playing close to each other, playing trades, even getting as crazy as hitting random routes that you would never think in a million years would work, but it did. But no, capture almost coming in from the side of Minnesota, but Boston again able to shut it down. Elmet really, I think, right now is the key reason as to why Boston is being as slay heavy as they are now, because that man is crying.
Yeah, Elmet throwing up the melee, wasting a little bit of time. Does that melee cost it? Does that melee stop sprinting cost that score?
Yeah, I would say so. That was definitely, I would have just kept the sprint, brother.
Yeah, dive, jump, do what you can to get the point. But now Minnesota finally looking to get on the board. You have possession of this EMP, a Goat picking up a nice lot of kills. The middle of the map opens up for these Boston players, and they're able to push it along. I like this right here by Elmet. Elmet is going to be in a really good position to get a stop. Not able to get anything done. It's going to be Stylish still pushing up on the map. Going to basically hand over possession to Minnesota. But now you got to worry about this side.
Huge kill, yeah. You have Addy just pushing up, getting really aggressive with that pistol. Runs out of ammo, unfortunately, but you do have other members. You have that one player, number 4, That's going to be Wicked. He's still in the back spawn, just kind of being a little bit of a troublemaker. A Goat and company from the side of Boston being able to sniff out that EMP push there. But still, Boston here in this first round, or first half rather, they're looking really good. But like we've said multiple times, how it's been like the name of the game for the series in general. Boston, the first half, comes out swinging, but then as soon as it gets to the second half, that's where the everything kind of derails. So I'm hoping to see Boston kind of have that clutch factor and be able to get things going.
Yeah, Minnesota, they're going to be able to pick up the EMP here and maybe extend the time. It does get reset. Are they able to pick it up before the 2 seconds? All right, now you're going to see a 30-second timer. This is going to be an opportunity here. This could be a big momentum shift. Who is that? That's going to be Steve's pushed up on the map. The EMP is going to be playing far out. Elmit is going to be the one to get the kill. As soon as that bomb hits the floor, it is going to be the half. So far, so good.
Yeah, I know. That was really good plays, too, by Boston. Instead of trying to overextend and just specifically looking for the carrier, they know, like, hey, they got to come to us more than anything. So the side of Boston, you had Elmit kind of tucking away in that corner there. It was somebody that was tucked away in that corner, kind of just waiting for that bomb carrier to push through. And luckily, we're able to take it down. So Boston up 2-1. So far in this map, 2-0. Minnesota never even got one, so Boston looking pretty good. We're gonna see what happens.
Minnesota is up 2-0 in the series. However, it is Boston right now up 2-0 in the overload, looking to get some ground back and get a grip on this series. And it's just, it's going to be hard, right? But this is the first step to do it. If you guys can hold on to the second half, not get 3-0'd, you're going to gain a lot of confidence. And as I say that, Nam from Boston is going to pick up this EMP and able to slide into the point. Going to get a nice stun out, probably able to pick up that kill. Not able to grab it, but Elmit is going to have a lot of momentum on the side of the map looking to kill these players over on green side.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge kill from Elmit here in green. Going to be able to clean it up. Did get a lot of shots on target, just couldn't get the kill right away. But the nice thing here, though, is that if you're Elmit, you're in a prime position. If you're able to get the kills and stay alive, you can control this map and just set your homies up to be able to continuously pop in that EMP and that A objective. Or sorry, B objective.
This is going to be another cap?
Yeah, looks like it might potentially be another cap here as Boston again brings home the bacon. Elmit on a 5 streak, just like I said, from that top green, you can control a lot of their spawn. But unfortunately for Boston, a few members get taken down. Minnesota missed, looking to stabilize, but still Boston looking really good here to start off the second half.
Yeah, I feel like Minnesota kind of pushed up a little bit too far in the map without any control over green at all. I mean, you got to know that player hasn't died on green. You got to go back and get them. Always push at the middle of the map, but you saw 2 players towards the end of that cap having to backtrack all the way what seems like from blue, and it's just not really working out right now for Minnesota in the overload. The overload is, overload can be hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially with it being new too. But the thing is, though, is Minnesota looked very confident with the way that they played. They're very methodical. They took their time. They played together in the hard point and the search and destroy, and that's what got them to W. If you look back at how Minnesota's been playing in this map 3, it has just been chicken shit city because they've been all over the place. They haven't really been able to stabilize or really be able to do anything collectively as a team in both of the halves so far. So Boston playing together, playing off of each other's plays, it's been so much better for them, and it's really proven it here.
Yeah, honestly, if Elmit gets this cap, if Elmit gets this cap, it's going to be super, super hard for Minnesota to get back in this game. Stylish able to pick up a kill. That bomb, it does drop in a decent position, I think, for Boston. If they're able to kind of work their way up on the map to do that. A couple of teammates come through. That is not what you want to see. Maybe another team kill. Minnesota just tried to quick run it. Yeah, just good defense from Nam. Nam doing a really good job picking up the device. Going to try to run it in by themselves. Isn't going to get really any help. A go. Able to pick up the kill. Yes, going to stay alive on this P2 side. Just stay on their side of the map. You know what I mean? Just really put the pressure on. Going to try to get up top maybe someday. We eventually made it.
Go trying to open it up, paving the way for his teammate. Boston being able to get another capture. So 5 EMP pulse detonations uncontested for the side of Boston. And like I said, it's really just been the map control. They've been able to completely shut down. As you can see there, they have been able to completely shut down the side of Minnesota. That green control is critical. You know, watching those back buses and everything.
Wow.
Just going buck crazy right now with the AR. Man, it has been honestly a picture, almost picture perfect, as they get another capture.
And honestly, last time we played this map, when we saw it on the hard point, I think they really did really good. I mean, Boston, they did outslay Minnesota in the hard point, and you're kind of seeing it again here. The AR's coming out to play. Bomb is going to rotate all the way back to blue, going to force Minnesota to play up. It's going to be too little, too late. There's impossible for them to get 6. And yeah, map number 3.
Man. Yeah, we got a guaranteed map 4, everybody.
And we were talking about the map 4 earlier. If it goes to the map 4, we're going to see a black heart, and it's going to be a significantly different map than the 2 that we've seen so far.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, Blackheart is one of those maps that if you are an SMG player, you know, that's SMG City, man. Like, that is your bread and butter, and that's what you play for. And so you're going to be seeing, what I would assume is that your SMGs are going to be playing around the point, but your ARs are going to be playing the point for the most part, because there's not really a lot of AR, like, lanes on Blackheart. But Boston Brigade dropping a crooked number when Minnesota only gets a donut. So Boston Brigade finally looking for the map win if they want, and starting the first leg of a reverse sweep. You got to win the map 3, and now we're going to go into a map 4, and we're going to see if they're able to lock in and we go to a game 5.
Yeah, I mean, potential now here for the reverse sweep, and I mean, there's so many times where Boston was able to get slays forward on the map, and that's so important in the overload. Like, let your guns do the talking. That person with the pistol and like popping up on radar shouldn't be the first person you have contact with. It should always be, you should always have guns forward. You need to kind of have like an offensive line, right? So yeah, we're here. We're going for another game 4. 4K damage from a GOAT. Big. I mean,
and a big thing too with a GOAT is that he had 22 non-traded kills, but he also had 14 assists. So a GOAT really was, he was the GOAT of map 3, because that man was doing everything. He was getting the kills, covering his teammates, getting the assists, and, you know, that extra damage needed. But really in that first round, I would say, is it Emmerich? Emmerich was going insane, and also too, a GOAT, he also led his team in EMP detonations as well. So I mean, you want to talk about a picture perfect way to backpack your team to victory, and also get that momentum change too, because now Minnesota, they're on the wall, like their backs are against the wall now too. And that first hard point, that was a 2-point difference, and now we're going into a map where the SMGs are really going to be your difference makers. And who's an SMG? A GOAT.
Yeah, so now that you see a really good performance from your SMGs, you got to be confident going into this situation, right? Really tight, close quarters plays coming up. I'm super excited to see. I don't believe we didn't see it last series, and I think I only saw it once last night. So I'm excited to watch this map. I really enjoy this map. Honestly, I enjoy most of the maps in this game. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree. It does suck sometimes, though, to see only Scar or only one type of map. But even though we have 3 Scars in this map pool, like as we're going into it, you can see you had Raid and you have Blackheart, which is coming back after being patched up because of a glitch. Gotta love devs, right? or players finding glitches too. That's always fun. But yeah, I'm really excited to see how Blackheart is, because, you know, like I said, the only really 2 areas that ARs can even have a chance to shine are on the very edges of the map. Whereas how close quarters everything is, man, the SMGs really got to go hard. So it's going to be the battle of the SMGs, see who's got the better ones. Yeah, I think so too. I'm looking forward to it. It's always fun to see you know, it's kind of like even though a lot of people hated it playing it, you know, Bocage on
Oh
World War
yeah.
II. that is still one of my all-time favorite maps for hardpoint for competitive play, because that map was absolute insane chaos. Whether you were using an MP40, the automaton, like, it didn't matter what gun you were using. Bocage was nuts, and I feel like Blackheart can be the modern version of Bocage, because it's a small map, especially for hardpoint. Like, it's got its moments, so it's really gonna be cool to see here on main how things go down.
Yeah, we're going to be loading into the map now. I'm super excited to get into this map number 4. We're not seeing 3 on a handshake, so I like to see that.
No DoorDash is here for this game too.
Yeah, and it looks like they stayed on the same side, which is nice for me.
Keeps it easy for production. Let's go.
Yeah, easy for production, dude. That's all that matters. Oh, no, I'm picking up a nice 3-piece there in mid. Able to get a little bit of control now for Boston right out the gate.
These maps are looking pretty. There we go. It's so stylish. And Zom, here we go. So like I said, so stylish is going to be the man. Now, also, too, one thing you could easily consider as well, with how this map is and how good the Dravec is as well as an SMG, I wouldn't be shocked if you saw 4 SMGs. Are there even GAs for that?
There is not, and honestly, that's kind of what I feel like that's what the topic's kind of been with players and roles these days. Everyone, for the longest time, have 1 AR, have 2 subs, have a flex, but now it's looked more like, it's looking more like everyone's kind of a flex. Everyone kind of has to have a moment where maybe they whip out the Dravec. The Dravec is on, I think it's the best gun in competitive COD right now. I think it's so good. You can get fried from across the map with it. It can be so deadly.
It's an SMG that's basically like an AR. Like we were talking about AW before. It reminds me of the Bow. Like, the Bow literally would fry up close at a distance. Like, that thing was a one-man wrecking crew, really. And with the Dravec, it's kind of a similar situation. So I wouldn't be shocked, obviously, if the go-to method of madness for this map is to have 1 AR and 3 SMGs, because even in the past, like, Bocage was one of those kinds of maps where you had, depending on the situation, you would have a flex that would whip out a 3rd SMG. But as of right now, though, Boston Brigade looking really good here, 53 to 25. Going into this P3, but like right now, if you're Boston, you've got to keep up that momentum, and it looks like, at least as of right now, they're looking like they're keeping it up. So we're gonna see how this progresses through. But Minnesota Mist definitely their backs are against the wall.
Yeah, Minnesota Mist losing a lot of momentum after that game too. I mean, they go into the overload and it just they get slammed from there. And so right now, Boston looking to take all of the momentum aside and just really try to make their presence on this map. Big kills though.
Yeah, no, like, I mean, obviously from a mental perspective, even if you have good composure, getting curb stomped 7-0 in map 3, that's never a fun thing to deal with mentally. But as we're talking, though, we do have Minnesota Mist. They get 3 kills, and there's still 20 seconds left. So if they're able to take all of this time, it's only going to be within 20-25 points. So you're still in this. It's not like it's a blowout yet. But obviously, if you don't, Addies with the crazy beams there. But like I said, man, it's all about composure. And right now, Minnesota Mist looking like they're going to try to go ahead and regain a little bit as we head into P4.
Yeah, this P4 is going to be tough. Who is that? It's going to be Stylish, kind of left in the back there, not able to pick up a kill. Doc's going to be able to get into the point, and just like that, we might have our first real lead change. But who is in the back? This is going to be a go in the very back, looking to make a flank onto these players. Able to get one, looking for a second, not able to get the second, but that's going to allow Stylish to get into the point, possibly get some time, but those blue arrows are still spawning there. The players from Boston able to trickle back into the point, finally taking the lead back over. First lead change of this map number 4.
Yeah, and it's absolutely crazy here. Zom hits a crazy route through the entire bottom of the map, but is able to literally like get there in such a fashion that even though blue arrows are spawning all around him, he was able to at least jump for a quick moment, be able to take 2 members of Minnesota down. So still very neck and neck game here as Minnesota forces the lead change, and Boston Brigade though are going to be the ones on this P5. Is this P5? Yeah.
Yep. Steez with the streak is going to be the streak is actually very useful. There's a giant open ceiling above mid, so you can pretty much hit anywhere on the map with a streak. So pretty much a guaranteed kill unless you're possibly on jumps. I forget where the block spot is.
You can still maneuver the rocket though. You can get jiggy with it and maneuver it.
Yeah.
People up.
It's just from the visual look of the map, it's a surprisingly good map for streaks.
Yeah. And Steez has really been taking advantage of that too, because I mean, if you look at the hill time total, you know, Elmet, who started off really strong, is now starting to falter a little bit. You know, only 9 seconds on hill to his name, and Steez now on hill, but before getting on it was only at 5 seconds. So Doc on the side of Minnesota being the main hill person, lack for a better word, and then Stylish being the hill guy for Boston. So, but like I said, it's been really neck and neck, and you know, heading into a new set of rotations, if you're Boston Brigade, you know, you hold on to this hill and that's cash money, dude.
Yeah, they're looking pretty solid right now. You can see a Go already rotating over towards that P2 area while Stylish is getting this time. I honestly think P1 can be a money hill in this game, especially on this map. If you can get them locked down, you can start rotating over to the P2. You can get your AR shooting across those doors. Those doors line up pretty well. But right now, still it's going to be contested, so that the main timer is going to do some ticking.
Yeah, and the big thing too is it's the P1 to P2 push. You know, if you play your cards right, you can really train hills beautifully, as you can see right now. Now, granted, number 5, that's going to be a go, and he's going to push up just a little bit too much, at least for my liking, and number 8 as well. If these two guys lose their lives, they might potentially lose spawns, depending on how things go, but you have a 2-man push to the side of Minnesota going to be going in through the back spawn. Luckily for Minnesota, though, they still have those spawns intact, so if you're Boston, you wanna hold on to that for dear life, but unfortunately for them, they do get pushed back just a little bit. Minnesota getting some good kills, but still Boston Brigade holding strong and forcing yet another lead change with 25 seconds left on this P2.
Yeah, and as we say that, Minnesota are starting to get to this point. No one's really in a position, as I scroll through these players, to be able to chow this. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who gets the scrap time. That's going to be a big kill from Elmet. Elmet's going to get the 2-piece as well and get that scrap time. That scrap time is going to kind of keep them at bay for now. I mean, when you have the lead, it's such a different feeling. Even if you're only a second ahead, you just know you have the momentum. So rolling into this P3, that was a big kill from Elmet to be able to stop them from getting that scrap time and get the rotation as well.
Yeah, and Elmet's still holding strong too, playing that middle area as you have 2 members of Minnesota pushing up. But Elmet being able to set up Stylish for the 2-piece, and so Boston now starting to get away with this lead a little bit. Now that you got the kills that you need, you're able to, you know, start to spread out a little bit. Number 3, Steve's gonna go ahead and get a kill on the flank. Trying to get in, not gonna be able to do it right away, but still pressure from the front. A Goat's gonna get taken down. That's gonna be a 3 down. Elmet really come out swinging, and he does. But the other 2 members of Minnesota are going to be right behind him. But still, the damage has been done. 13 seconds for the scrap time, in Boston now again in a beautiful position to be able to anchor those spawns, get the get the kill that they need to, and to be able to capitalize and potentially put this in their back pocket, and we go to a game 5.
What I like about how Boston's playing is they're recognizing that this map is small. So they're recognizing that, like, even though they do have rotations, they can still send one out to possibly get the stop on the scrap time. And I think that's been a big difference between these two teams on this map. It feels like every single time Minnesota finally gets to the point, it's a little bit too late. And when it's too late, Boston says, you know what, we're going to send over a player anyway just to be annoying. And they stopped them pretty much almost every time from grabbing that, I think, super important scrap time, especially when you're trying to claw out of this deficit.
Yeah, no, exactly. And the only blunder really for that P4 here, what ended up happening was number 7, Elmet. He was over by P3 or like the map or the whatever in the bottom left. He was anchoring, he got a kill, and he pushed up. If he had stayed where he was at, even though Minnesota was able to get into the hill, you would still have the spawns to be able to get back in. You know what I mean? So, you know, small mistakes luckily haven't been too critical for Boston, but sometimes you really need to anchor in a way that you might have to give up some kills, but you're able to set up the rest of your team for success. So, you know, that's coming from an anchor player myself. But still, overall, though, Boston looking really big, and Zom going for the gusto.
Yeah, and that's a big kill. That's a big kill there. You earn spawns for your team, so now Minnesota have to kind of deal with split spawns here. Look how broken up these arrows are, but Zom not able to check their back in time. Gonna get picked up. Spawn is gonna be clear again. You're gonna see some horizontal spawns. Big fight over on jumps is gonna go into the way of Boston Brigade, and I mean, this is looking pretty rough.
Perfectly.
Yeah, this,
like, ooh.
But this is the first time we've seen them really get scrap time. But like I said, look at this. Boston is still going to send one player over to be a nuisance and try to get them off of it. They're not able to do it this time. Stylish looking for that player. Last alive is going to get taken out. Zom.
Yeah, this is a huge thing here, though, too. Minnesota able to force out the spawns of Boston. And so now this P1 to P2, you can see a GOAT going to try to get behind enemy lines and sneak up on these dudes. We're going to see what he does. He finds one, looking for the second, can't find it, but teammates are en route. Boston, pistol, not able to get it done. And that is going to be a clean 3 down. Boston Brigade not able to pick it up as Wicked with the triple. Sorry, Steez with the triple. And still Boston in a position. Now, Minnesota can't win here, but Addies with the double, locking it down. And Boston now finally able to get inside of this hill. And it is only 10 seconds before Boston forces this to go to a game 5.
Big kill there. That might be the kill that does it. One player is going to try to break in from Windows side. Rotation is going to go over, but they also need to be rotated now as well. They only have 3 seconds to get there, and that is simply just not going to happen. Game number 5.
Look at that. Are we going to see the game 5 round 11, folks? Did I call it?
We're getting there.
We're getting there, but all the hard work has been done, right? Like, you're now over the hump if you're Boston. You went down 0-2 in the series. You had a bang-out performance in map 3, causing it to go to a 1-2 series count, and now you just did the dirty work of winning that map 4 on a very hectic map. I mean, look at Zom, 27 non-traded kills. A GOAT only had 9 non-traded kills and 17 assists. Yeah, he went 18 and 31, but with 127 or 127 on hill, you were definitely putting in the work objectively, and with a lot of big kills and opportunities as well. So definitely not the greatest stat line KD wise, but luckily, who gives a flip as long as you win?
Yeah, I mean, that's
in hard point.
Those are the stats that matter, right? Is that score right at the very end. And you could have been just putting in the damage, really getting a lot of info for your team. There was definitely a couple moments there where Minnesota looked like they could have clawed back into that game and really just have it. But Boston, like I said, every single time that Minnesota had a position to get scrap time or really just get a rotation, someone from Boston was pushed up. Someone from Boston was able to get a kill and just be super, super annoying. And a lot of times, I think that was Elmet. I think Elmet was really the one that was kind of hanging out, getting the rotations, and honestly being annoying when they didn't have rotations. So yeah, it was fun to watch.
Yeah, Elmet was definitely putting the work. You know, like I said before, you know, I'm whenever I play ranked, I'm typically the AR anchor, and you know, playing anchor is like playing a lineman. You know, for American football, right? You know, like linemen, they're the most critical, in my opinion, one of the most critical parts of a football team, because they're constantly, you know, protecting the quarterback or on the defensive side. But the thing is that without linemen, you would have no way of being able to defend yourself, right? And they do the dirty work for the football team so that way you can succeed. And that's kind of what an anchor does. You don't get all the glory of all the kills and the cool plays, but especially in hardpoint when you're anchoring like that. If you're able to set up the rest of your team to be able to fight on hill or to be able to get closer to hill, and you're constantly just being a nuisance for that other team, and their anchor can't like retaliate against you, it can get sloppy quick, and that's exactly what Elmet was doing. So kudos to him from one anchor to another, because I'm old school. That was pretty dope to see.
Yeah, no, really good plays out of them. Played super solid throughout that whole map. Honestly, there was only one lead change. Well, technically two of the lead changes we saw, but when Boston had the momentum, I felt like it was pretty clear that they had the momentum. I would say like 75% of that game. There was only I only felt like there was a minute where I was confident that Minnesota might be able to pull it back. But Boston doing a really good job holding it down, coming back down 0-2 in the series, showing everybody that they can win 2 respawns in a row. Now it's going to be up to the search and destroy. The last search and destroy that we saw from them, they went up 4-0 and let Minnesota come back with a full 6 rounds in a row. That is not something that you want to see this time.
Yeah, no, exactly. And so, like I said, Boston really proved themselves in the overload. They proved themselves in the hard point, but they just weren't able to prove themselves for that clutch ability factor for the search and destroy. So we're going to see how it goes down, and it's Scar again. Shocker, but that is perfectly okay. I like Scar. I think it's going to be a really good opportunity, really good to see how these teams play. And to be honest, in both of the Scar maps, those are the maps that Boston really performed, I think, the best in. Like the Scar Overload. So we're going to see what happens. Addy's with the sniper right away, so obviously got to do our due diligence to see how he does.
Yeah, Addy's with the sniper rifle on top hotel. Gunfire is going to be heading over towards mid-map. Bomb is going to go down on A. Nobody in top green to see that get planted. Those red arrows are kind of filtered towards the middle of the map. First big gunfight goes down. A lot of trades are happening. 2v2, 1v2, Elmet. Now in a chance to clutch a 1v2.
Huge. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Elmet just kind of rocking from that previous map 4 performance. But still, these guys, I think number 4, I think Wicked knows where Elmet is. Elmet still just kind of playing, waiting. He gets the information, and he gets the kill. Elmet with a huge victory over Wicked. Holy mackerel. You want to talk about cutting it close.
Yeah, Elmet doing a really good job there in that 1v2. Those team doing a good job with the trades as well. Good stuff. Definitely good stuff. That's what you want to see out of your team, right? The ability to clutch up, get a defuse.
Oh, man. That's a clutch up right there. That is for sure. You clutched up the 1v2. That's always a good day.
Yeah, being able to clutch up the 1v2 and still get the defuse. Good gunfights there. Yeah. Yes. Really good stuff there from Elmet. Elmet going up 2-0 in the KD right now. Bringing Boston up 1-0 on the search and destroy.
And he's got the streak too, which is always a good deal. So if you're Elmet, you maybe want to be more of a supporting AR, just trying to, maybe get the kills here, or maybe not going for the initial gunfight, but maybe trying to clean up as some damage comes in. But you could see Elmet taking his time, does get stunned though, so information does come in for the side of Minnesota. Steed's going to draw first blood though from Minnesota. So Boston Brigade now 3-4 for lives. So we're going to see what they can do to make it even, which they do. Wicked gets taken down. Another 2 get taken down. Now Addy's by their lonesome as bomb's going to go down. Elmet on a 3 streak.
Yeah, you kind of want to let Elmet plant this bomb here. You see those points tick back up for that streak. Super close to that streak now. Possibly 2 kills away. Maybe a kill into defuse. Addy's is going to be chilling up top green. He's going to have to drop down to get a little bit of momentum on the map. Drops down right in front of them.
Yeah, you want to talk about just easy slim pickings right there, dude. Like, that was a literal fish in a barrel. I'm going to hop down, not even realizing that Zom is there. So Zom's like, oh, well, don't mind if I do. So, easy cleanup there from the side of Boston going up 2-0. Now, like I said, for all of you Boston fans, this isn't a dig at you, but the last time you guys went up like this, you ended up losing. So there's nothing really to write home about just yet, but Boston, though, looking really good as they're looking to complete this reverse sweep.
We're gonna hop on back on board with Elmet. Elmet's gonna take a deep wrap. I'm actually screw that. I'll go. It's gonna be the first one possibly in a gunfight here. Addies. Stylus.
Oh, he gets some information. He's hunting now.
Yeah. Really good flank here. Elmet's still alive, so that streak is still up.
I don't think they know that Addies is going to be top green with them. Yep, no. Addies going to be able to go ahead and flank into top green. Still, though, 2v2 situation. Elmet is going to be alive. Doc from the side of Minnesota is going to be hanging out over on top A. But, yeah, right now
Look how
it's
deep
just,
this pinch is.
Yeah, this is a huge pinch. Number 5, a goat. Looks like he might potentially get Doc. Oh, that's COD timing and a half, man. Wait, what? Oh, he ran off.
Yeah.
Oh.
Elmet died
Okay.
playing their life. Yeah, not able to see that player jump up into the window of green. A goat able to get a kill. Bomb hasn't been planted. Not going to get planted. The goat's going to get chased. Going to hit the wall jump. Not able to do it. Just a little bit lacking in the health department there. Minnesota missed. Get their first round on the board in this game 5.
I swear I thought a goat was going to go up on that top balcony because right when he was about, it looked like he was about to cross over into the stairwell, like go on that balcony when Doc was turning away. So I was like, oh, that's got to be an easy win for a goat. But no, he ended up going around instead of going on that balcony. So I don't know if that was a miscommunication or if they knew that Doc was there. But unfortunate 2v2 situation there going in the favor of Minnesota.
Yeah, right now Minnesota looking to gain a little bit of composure, losing 2 maps in a row, 2 rounds of search and destroy in a row. So it feels like it had been a while since they've gotten anything going on the map. Goat looking to get first blood, ends up getting it. Elmet's going to get a little bit pushed up with this bomb. You're going to have Stylish die in mid. As I say that, Nam is going to pick up that kill in mid. So good trades here for Boston. Boston doing a really good job. Some info comes out with that stun, so bomb is going to go down now. You get that info with the stun. Good call. Elmet is going to get the bomb down. Bomb is planted on A, and this is going to be a hard retake. Ooh, and as I say that, who gets sniped?
Sniper comes out to play again. Addies, 2v2.
Ooh.
Looks like it's going to be a 2-man push. It's going to be a huge flank from number 6, Zom. Oh my god, 3 HP finally gets wall banged. But Wicked's going to get the kill.
And another
Last man
1v1.
standing. Oh man, a goat. I don't... Does he see it?
Doesn't have the gun
and he
out.
does.
Yeah.
Oh man, that almost was bad news bears there.
Yeah, a goat doing a really good job winning that 1v1 this time. Wasn't able to win it the last round, but able to grab it. Had bomb down, was in a lot better position. Played it really well, and I didn't see who it was that died at the very end, but they just didn't have their gun up.
I think that was Wicked.
Was it Wicked?
Yeah, I think. Not positive, but I think that was him, last man standing. Ooh, sick knife flips. There you go. Some cool little gestures from a goat.
A goat on a 2 streak right now, 6-3. Looking really solid in the search. The top slayer in the lobby.
Oh, it's about to go down over on this A site.
Stylish. Bomb is going down super, super early.
Oh, does a goat see it? Oh, he
does.
gets information. Bomb gets planted, though, but a goat's able to get the bomb carrier after they get it down. But still, 3v4 retake for the side of Boston with 30 seconds left. Yeah, Bomb up on top balcony gets the kill. Wicked goes ahead and gets taken down as well. No. Stylish with sniper in hand. Steez still alive, but finally gets cleaned up. Still 1v2 situation. You got to get the defusal if you're Zom or Nam. Huge pinch coming in. I don't think he sees it.
Oh, not enough time. Zom, you
No,
gotta leave
not
that
enough
alone. You're on a 3
time.
streak. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. He did not get it. Yeah.
Oh, luckily gets away with his life, but no, huge pinch coming in from the side of Minnesota. Huge play, a little bit risky, but luckily for the side of Minnesota, Nam wasn't really looking at the potential flank, more focused on the front. So huge play from Steez.
Yeah, that's just a 50-50, right? Like, I mean, he's either going to have to come from hotel or he's going to have to come from mid, and you just chose wrong. He's swinging back over towards hotel, able to get the kill, but not able to get the defuse in time. About a half second off. But good recognition by Zom to be able to play their life, stay on the streak. You know, it's still going to get a little bit of momentum, especially if you get another kill here. You're going to be looking at a cruise missile. Cruise missile, very effective on this map. Again, especially in Search and Destroy, you can avoid the bomb plant. You can try to clutch up and around. You just got to be in a hidden spot.
No, exactly. And yeah, there's some buildings and stuff, but both bomb sites are open, free as day. So if you're even if you're in a 1v1, worst case scenario, you can whip out that Hellstorm and be perfectly fine. But Minnesota, here we go. Same shit, different day, basically, as Minnesota 3-3. This is getting hectic, man. I'm telling you, I'm just like a good bucket of KFC chicken. I'm smelling it, man. I'm smelling the game. I'm smelling the round 11, dude. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. It's going to be in a very sketchy fashion where it's going to be back and forth, but I'm looking forward to it. But Boston's really making me nervous.
Yeah, Boston had the edge a little bit right now. They've kind of been trading rounds back and forth, and this is the first time we've really seen 2 back-to-back rounds since Boston went up 2-0. So Minnesota missed, doing a really good job. They're trying to get the bomb up and push on the point. Bomb is going to go down on the hotel floor. Doc is going to have to rotate back up towards this balcony side. Teammate is able to pick up a player there. Doc's trying to stay alive. Shots ring out over top hotel. Big gunfight over top hotel. 1v1 now between Season Elmet. Elmet backing up from hotel. Yeah, is this a hard read? No, they're playing Ring Around the Rosie.
They're going to play Ring Around the Rosie. Oh, no way.
Oh. Elmet not double checking B. Gonna allow this player to plant B, and he's gonna be very confused. Yep.
Wow. Here we go. Does Steez have an AR or an SMG? That's the real question. I mean, if he's playing top green with an SMG, that's gonna be perfect.
There it is. Yep, top green with an SMG.
Oh, and he gets caught.
Yeah, bad timing, just laid down. Not really at an off angle, too. Kind of at an angle where he can kind of get seen right away. Element takes advantage of that, picks up the kill, and is going to get the defuse.
Wow, that's... Man, let me tell you what, man. There's a reason why COD timing exists and why it's the bane of almost any player's existence, because it's so easy to happen, you know? Like, they were playing Ring Around the Rosie there for a little bit. Element runs all the way back to almost spawn. Bomb gets planned for free. You pop up, green steps, and all of a sudden, bam, in your face is an AR. So Element with the clutch factor again. So Boston with the swing round, now up 4-3. Minnesota now with their backs against the wall again, as Boston coming out swinging, looking for a really strong offensive round.
Yeah, and Steve's able to pick up Stylish there. Minnesota looking to tie up this game, which feels like for the 3rd time. Addy's able to spot a player, not able to take them down. Big gunfight happening over top blue. Team kill as well, but it's going to leave Element in a 1v3. Car bomb works.
No way.
Element with the bomb.
A little bit sloppy, yeah. Unfortunate sloppy shots there from Element, but now we're all tied up 4-4. So I really, truly believe that whoever wins this next round, if it is Minnesota on the offense this time, I'm gonna call it Minnesota's winning. Like whoever wins this next round is going to win this series. Guarantee it, like 70%.
Yeah, that's gonna be a hard one. I think. Yeah. I don't know, we gotta start. Okay, now we gotta start taking slays into consideration right now. I think who is gonna get the defense right now if it were to be around 11. As far as my math goes, and because of Stylish, not to throw out anyone under the bus, Minnesota Miss would get the defense.
Yeah, the big thing though is Stylish needs to turn up, and he gets one, so you at least are able to cover yourself. 3v2 situation. Element just shooting recklessly, unloading rounds, but right now still though, Minnesota, Wicked trying to push up underneath that balcony. This is going to be a huge opportunity for Element. Able to get the kill. walking away with his life. And so Boston one more round away from completing the reverse sweep. So if you're Minnesota, you need one hell of a defensive round here. Because let me tell you, it is neck and neck.
Yeah,
Wow.
this is going to be a crazy round 10. I mean, man.
Stylish really turned up there, though. If he's able to do it again, it's game over.
We're going to hop on board with one of the players over here. We're going to hop on board with this defensive team as they hit over towards. We're going to see a classic A push. Bomb is going to be pushing towards mid, so there's a little bit of danger there if you're this bomb player. Are you going to poke out? Info does come through. Those walls are paper thin. You need to watch out for the wall bangs. The wall bangs are starting to go through. And just like I said, those are not safe walls to hide behind. Neither is top green. So traded wall banks here. That Element and Nom going to be last alive on their team. They're going to be kind of swapping places here. Nobody really in a position to get a flank. This is going to be a straight up hit. As I say that,
about to hit a huge flank.
Yep, Steve's playing pretty quiet over here, not giving up the position. I actually really like that play because you're going to have to expect a wrap back. And now look at this. Nom's very paranoid. So you can hit a late wrap, or if they decide to cut back, Steve's is going to be in a very good position to get info, but that player scoots right past the door. Element and Nom decided to split ways, and Element going to be last alive in a 1v3. I did not like that play. They were holding hands, able to take gunfights together, and they just split. Maybe the communication was bad. They didn't know what was going on. Is this going to be an
As a D&D player, you never split the party, and that's exactly when chaos happens. And we got ourselves a game 5. Round 11. I called it. I told it. I'm going to shout it to the heavens. I told it. So, now, this is for all the marbles. It doesn't matter what the heck you just did for the last hour. It doesn't even matter what you did for the last 10 rounds. It all comes down to this. This is where greatness happens, and we're going to see who is going to succeed, who's going to be the victor, who's going to be the loser. And right now, I think with Boston being on the attacking side, it is not going to be in their favor. But you get some choice trades, that's going to do it.
Yeah, choice trades will always do it. Now I'm going to pick up that first kill with a nade. A goat, going to be chilling with the bomb up towards top hotel. Element, going to get another big kill, and just like that, 1v4.
The breakdown from Minnesota missed. Wicked in a 1v4. Bomb gonna be planted. It is not looking pretty. You are going to need a whole bit of prayer, but just like Bon Jovi living on a prayer, shortly snuffed out, and Boston Brigade are your winners after a game 5, round 11, completing the reverse sweep. Wow. What a series, folks. What a freaking series.
Insane work. That was just crazy stuff, man. Game 5, round 11. Boston hits A, puts it all on the line. Nom opens it up with a fantastic grenade, and then it just fell apart for Minnesota right after that. Minnesota, you got to be kicking yourself. Got to be kicking yourself now.
Oh, 100%. And what's even crazier, too, is that both teams had 5 first bloods too, so it's not like there was anybody that was really getting anything crazy. It was just all oh man, what an insane performance by Boston Brigade. If I know anybody right now that is probably popping bottles of champagne celebrating the victory, it's probably going to be Gunnerade from the Boston Brigade, the owner, because let me tell you what, man, that is absolute insane crazy reverse sweep. So, well, we're gonna see if we can get somebody for an interview. But yeah, what are your thoughts, Refresh? What do you think of that reverse sweep, man?
I'm gonna do like my visual breakdown, what I think happened. I think the reason why Minnesota got the defense there, obviously they had more slays, but I think the rounds that they won a bit easier. And I think every time Boston went around, it was really scrappy. So for them to hit that round 11 and then for it to just be a clean round 11 was really surprising to me. Because the slays, like that's usually how the slays work out in S&D, right? If a team's absolutely outslaying the other team, but it's going into a round 11, you got to think when the going gets tough, it's the team that actually has the least amount of slays that are winning those harder rounds. And Boston just showed up. They outslayed the whole series, and it was just the whole team ended up with a positive KD, even going down 0-2. I mean, yeah, it's just crazy, crazy stuff.
Yeah, no, 100%. And like that could have easily been a 3-1. Like I said, if anybody from Boston, if a GOAT was able to stay on for those 2 seconds, if, they would have been able to get those 2 seconds at some point during the entire map one, that would have been a 3-1 at the map four. But, like I said, with just how dominant that map three was insane, and the fact that Boston outslayed the entire time and it came down to a game 5 round 11 really just goes to show the composure from Minnesota. Like they got outslayed the entire series, but they still brought it to the very edge of the series. So I mean, kudos to them. But yeah, wow. I love that I called it, man. That makes me happy when I call it because I was feeling it, and man, it's always great when you get a game 5. It's exhausting, especially because, if you're Eastern Standard Time, it is currently midnight. So it's, staying up late sometimes. It's a little bit fun. But yeah, no, great series. Sharp contrast compared to our first map or first series of the day. Like, you want to talk about night and day. The first series was an absolute curb stomping and a half. The second one was just a dog fight the entire time. You gotta love it.
Yeah, and give it up to Nam being your your MVP as well for the series. Nam had a 1.36 KD in the hardpoint, 1.2 in the S&D, 1.32 in the overload, and a 1.32 overall. So really good stats there from that player. And again, a lot of the times when you see a reverse sweep, you usually see like maybe a negative in the S&D or a negative in the hardpoint. But Nam just playing well the whole series, able to stick it out. Their team were able to stick it out. We're just really able to like really piece it together after that second map. Again, they went up 4-0 in the search. They barely lost, and I think honestly it was a mistake. They barely lost that game 1, and so I think them winning those last 3 maps in a row really showed that like, hey, we feel like we deserve this win. We were able to stick it out. But as far as what I'm seeing, it does not look like we're going to be able to get an interview. So it's just off. We're just going away.
As my dad would say at the end of a radio broadcast for high school sports, let's wrap it up, boys. We're not ESPN with the 2-hour long post game. Let's get her done. But overall, though, let me tell you what, man. Like, if we can switch it back to the maps just to kind of show the chaos of how everything went down. I mean, like I said, it was map 1, 248 to 250 that Boston ended up losing. And then they ended up going to 6-4, for the raid. And then Overload Scar was just, oh man, it was all Boston, dude. That was, you want to talk about a beat down and a half. That's what that Overload was. And then obviously 250 to 256 in favor of Boston. And then finally the game 5 on Scar. But yeah, like I said, man, absolute craziness. It's always a good day, a little feather in the cap for the team when you get a reverse sweep.